subjective or objective way. Okay, so again, here we're going to be seeing people trying to account for where the absurdity of life comes from, right? Where does the lack of meaning come from? So again, here we're going to see the view that it could either come from individuals, and there again, we'll see a subjective, objective distinction, right? These typically are going to have to do either with the relationship, again, between what we should say is our awareness that we are so small, yet the feeling that our problems are so big. There's a sort of contradiction that comes there that's always going to make life absurd, right? That we're going to see that from Nagel. From Tolstoy, we're going to get a more theistic account, right? But in this case, because there is a God and because life's meaning comes from God, your life is not meaningful for you. Your life has meaning for God, but not for you. So we're going to see some interesting accounts, even where theism might not bestow or guarantee meaning on life in the way that we might expect. Okay, and then the external accounts, we're going to be saying that no, life is absurd, right? For the same reason for everybody. And I think the most famous one of that is going to be coming from Albert Camus. And he has the very famous narrative known as the myth of Sisyphus. Has anyone heard of the myth of Sisyphus before? A dude pushing a rock up a hill for eternity. Ringing any bells? Yes. Yes. All right. So the deal with Sisyphus, right, it's an ancient, I think, Greek myth. And Camus is using it as a metaphor for human life, right? So the idea is that in this myth, Sisyphus is condemned to push a rock up a hill for all of eternity, right? And this pushing the rock up the hill is meant to symbolize what we do every day, right? So Camus starts off by saying, we get up, we take the train, we go to work, we take the train home, we go to sleep, we get up, and we do it all over again, right? And so our lives are in a lot of ways just as absurd and meaningless as Sisyphus's, right? We're just pushing the rock up for what? So that we can buy more things and then continue to work, so that we can pay for a house to store all the things, right? I'm sure you all have heard of this worry about, right, participating in the capitalist grind, right? We just work to be able to work some more and continue to work until we die, right? That doesn't strike us intuitively as a super meaningful life, right? And so in that way, again, Camus is trying to say that our lives are like Sisyphus's. However, right, even though our lives are as absurd in that objective sense, right, as Sisyphus's, we can still make meaning in our lives. And for him, and for Camus as Sisyphus in this case, right, the idea is that Sisyphus can make meaning in his life at a very specific point, right?